You're listening to the Endless Party Radio Show with the Doc on Colossal Radio.
We welcome back to the show and to the station the legendary Jackie the Joke Man Martling, and
I'm here. I gotta tell you a few things. I've been having some fun. They're making a documentary about me, and I've been going through all my old pictures, and I found some crazy old pictures.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I took an old picture from a Joke Land party we had in the 90s, and I put it on my Twitter page, and it's 5 random people, and I put my Twitter is at Jackie Martling, and I said, if you send me an email, and I have my email address in the tweet, it's jokeland@AOL.com. I said, if you email me who's in the picture, I will send you some unpublished chapters to my autobiography. I've got like 40 chapters that didn't make it into the book that are just as good as the ones in the book.
That's awesome.
And there was pretty good response, but they're like, you got to really be a fan of the show to know who the hell's in the picture.
Yeah.
But it's really fun. So if anybody's a fan of the show from the old days, go to at Jackie Martling, my Twitter page, and I've been putting up some fun stuff. I got a picture of Robin there with the jetty, and people yell at me, how come you're still milking that crap? I'm like, I'm not milking anything. It was 15 years of my life. Eat me.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, listen, you know what? As we said even on Monday when Jackie and I talked, and very grateful that we got you back, and we're going to talk about the show right here in Philly, not too far from us here, at least our home base with Colossal Radio here in the Poconos. But, let's face it, when it was all put together and it all came together, things change over the years like we have talked about even on Monday. But, I will say this hands down. I don't know much, and I do my own thing. But, when you guys were all there, when it was all there, and yes, you are still talking about it, as you should, that was one hell of a, that was one hell of a bunch that was there with all you guys.
Yeah, it was a great time. And I get emails every day from people that read my book, and they're like, there's so much we thought we knew, but there's so much we didn't know. And if you're a fan of the show, it's interesting. But I've gotten emails from people saying, you know what, I never even listened to the Stern Show, but the book is still interesting because it gives you insight to a life involved in that kind of stuff. So, so it's just fun. But, so buy a book. Come to the show tomorrow night is at it was the Newtown Theater.
Yep.
And I already got, there's a lot of people coming, and when people come out, it's great because they're like, they're new Stern fans that just got turned on to the old shows.
Yep.
They're old Joke Man fans from the days at Rascals and the days on the Rascals Comedy Hour and my CDs. I mean, I've been doing this 40 years, so the span of people, when they're in line buying books and buying CDs at the end of the show, it is just such a variety of people. I just really, really enjoy it.
That's
awesome.
Awesome.
And they all know me from really odd places,
Does that ever scare you?
It should, I mean, I have girls coming up to me that I can't believe they're still walking, and they go, I slept with you in 1979. I'm like, holy Christ, thank God I was too drunk to remember.
That is funny.
But then they whip out a picture, and I'm like, holy Christ, that was you? That's not possible,
You know what? And then you look at yourself. Jackie, I don't know. Back in the day, you're sober now. But something did a body good because I'm not that kind of guy, Jackie. I ain't getting like weird on you here, but let me tell you something. You've held your own, man. You've held your own.
Well, you know what? I was a gymnast in high school, and I always took good care of myself. And when I quit drinking, I used to walk on the beach endlessly, and I walk like when we get done talking, I'll walk like 10 miles, and I try. My only problem is my beer belly that sometimes comes back, even though I don't drink beer, because I eat like a pig. But when I take care of myself, I mean. No, don't get me wrong. I'm still wrinkled and old, but I'm a decent-looking wrinkled and old. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I'll give you that, man, for real. I love the the feedback and what Jackie. Listen, it's been a real ride for Jackie the Joke Man Martling on board with the show. A real ride, and you know what? That's what you talk about. That's what it's about. It's real. It's real.
Yeah. We're too old to bullcrap each other. You know, I got a whole new scheme that I'm going to be doing at all these places, and it's funny because a guy that owns a couple of clubs bought me dinner at his new restaurant the other night, and my girlfriend Barbara and I were there. And I said, "This is nice, you know. I'm just glad they don't have anything like that crazy karaoke crap." And all of a sudden, the guy goes, "And now we're all going to sing," and I'm like, "Oh, mother," you know. But then I remembered that I had done karaoke at the Friars Club, but not with songs. I did it with jokes to promote my F. Jackie CD.
Right.
And I unlocked the whole thing. That's the ideal show to do at country clubs and at comedy clubs and at conventions. And it's a whole new thing. And it was funny. It was unlocked by this guy. And this is a guy who owns 3 comedy clubs on Long Island and really wants to find something for us to do together. And it's so I'm psyched, you know. I'm old, but it's fun to have a new idea, you know.
Hell yeah.
Of course, any new idea of mine involves the same old stupid jokes I've been telling since 5th grade, you know. But so what, right? So what?
Listen, it's all in the delivery, man. It's all in the delivery. That's all I know. And you certainly deliver it well. A history in the entertainment business for a long time. Jackie the Joke Man Martling on board here with us, and we talked the last time too. It wasn't too long ago. If you missed Jackie at the Mock Chunk Opera House Theater right here in our resort town of Jim Thorpe, the Newtown Theater tonight. Great place to see any kind of act. I know for a fact, and I told these people, listen, go up, tell Jackie hi after the show where you're coming from with this radio show, and there are people making their way down to the Newtown Theater tonight or tomorrow night for your show.
And if you miss any of the information for my shows is always at jokeland.com. You know, the ticket link and the address and all that garbage, you know.
Yeah.
So it's fun, you know.
It got all the events and where Jackie's at. He's all over the place. Still certainly commanding an audience, which is a good thing.
I'll tell you, here's a fun thing. You know, I listen to every joke that people tell me. I've always listened. You know, and at some point it got to where it's so rare for somebody to tell me one I haven't heard, but I listen anyway.
Right.
Because you never know. And every once in a while I hear one that just is staggeringly good, and it makes my month, you know. But this guy came up to me a couple of years ago, and he said, "Listen, I've been listening to you for 40 years. I know you know all the jokes, but I just want to try one." And he told me a joke. It's funny, I was with Mark Hudson, who used to be in the Hudson Brothers, and he was doing a show at Iridium called Thursdays on the Hudson. And, you know, it was Billy J. Kramer and him and blah, blah, blah. And I went up and told some jokes. And at the end of the show, I left the green room, but there was still tons of people in the club. And this guy said, "Listen, I really want to try this joke." He told me this joke, and I fell down. And he said, "Listen, man, you don't have to pretend you don't know it." And I'm listening. I said, "Not only have I never heard that before, but that joke fits the weirdest category. It is singularly in a class by itself." This guy told me a joke that's too dirty for my act.
What?
Because if I'm going along, I don't want to do something that makes people stop and think or dwell on it. So I don't tell it because it's that crazy. But you can tell the joke on terrestrial radio, and you can tell the joke to a 5-year-old kid. Now imagine a joke. It's too dirty for my act because it throws. It's not because it's so dirty, but it throws people a little bit. But it fits under the guidelines of terrestrial radio, and it's what kids love. All right, I'm going to tell you this joke. It's unbelievable. A girl calls the doctor, and she says, "Doc, I have diarrhea. Can I take a bath?" And he says, "If you have enough." Which is unbelievable. But, you know, for the next 5 seconds, people are envisioning it, and they miss the next joke, so I don't even use that on stage. But what a classic joke.
You are totally over the top. You are cracked, man. You are just freaking. I love it. You are just so cracked, man. Jackie the Joke Man Martling on board here with us. You know, we touched base before, and again, I'm grateful that we were able to get you back. You know, on this Friday, man, for real. So a big thanks. But you know, your career has spanned so many decades, though, and you know, the team that you were with on the radio with certainly Howard, and now the new book out, The Bow to Stern, which is available online. You can get it through jokeland.com. I mean,
now I've got to correct you again. It is not Bow to Stern. It is the Joke Man Bow to Stern. Because if you just put in Bow to Stern,
that's right.
You get a 7th grade sailing manual. And people don't believe me, and then they do it, and they say, "Holy Christ!" It's like little kids on a sailboat, row your boat. I'm like, oh my God,
That's it.
So it's the Joke Man Bow to Stern.
That's it. And the only reason I did that, I left that out on purpose because we have our notes here. I did that because I liked how you threw me under the bus the last time on Monday about a kid's book, so that's why. So listen, the Joke Man Bow to Stern, what's in it? What can people, and this is a book, this is a must-read. If you are a fan and know anything, even about the show or Jackie Martling himself, a must-read. What's going on between the pages, man?
It starts out with my probable relationship, my family's relationship with the Roosevelts. Like Theodore Roosevelt's father is my illegitimate great-great-grandfather, and it's pretty unbelievable. But it's all spelled out there. My great-great-grandfather ran Sagamore Hill in Oyster Bay for the Roosevelts, and the way he got that job is because he was the son of Roosevelt's father, who was out fooling around in Maine and knocked up some girl, and then 30 years later, my great-great-grandfather wound up in Oyster Bay. You got to read it. It's staggering. And then it's a little bit about what I did as a kid fooling around, and then the whole how I wound up getting to Howard and winding up on the show, and it's the whole thing, and the whole thing about quitting drinking, and it's all completely honest, and it's funny here and there, and it's sad here and there, and everybody seems to like it. There's some great pictures in there. I sent you a copy. You probably didn't get it yet, but trust me, it's on the way.
That is awesome. Listen, Jackie the Joke Man Martling on board here with us and granting us another interview where I'd love to try to, as I know my PR guy, your guys are, I don't know, I'd love to try to work you guys into something into the show. You know who is...
Well, I told you, have your guy contact me. I got tons and tons of stuff. You could give stuff away or give some digital stuff away. You could give away. If you could have a contest, and I'll give you unpublished copies of the chapters of my book that people go nuts for.
That's. I'll tell you what. The amount of the amount of influence that you still have, and even this came by way of our Instagram over the last just even 24 to 36 hours when we had posted everything and tagged you with Jackie going to be on board with the show today here on Colossal Radio, really blew up. And one of the guys that joined our page and somebody that you worked with, and he could quite possibly be listening now, is High Pitched Derek. Oh, jeez. So that was
all those oddballs, they were good. I got along with all those people,
I did. I just had to throw that out there to you. So listen, you still run cross paths with Artie Lang at all? I know we touched base on that.
Not a lot, we just retweet each other's stuff, but he did the forward to my book, and he actually did the audio forward to my book.
Yeah. And
I did his podcast a few times, and when he had his direct TV show, I did it a few times, and we've always been very supportive of each other, and I still like all the people, I have had lunch with Fred however long ago and Robin however long ago, but there's no real communication. Sometimes Gary needs something from me or vice versa, so we'll email, but it's just goofy. Going through the old pictures, I got pictures of all the wives together back in the day, and it's just fun stuff. There's actually a picture on my Twitter. You got to go to my Twitter, @Jackie Martling. There's a picture of me and Fred with him dressed in his Nazi uniform the night of the Nassau Coliseum Open Swords when he was Kurt Waldheim Jr.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a picture, I didn't post it yet, of me and Howard and Fred on stage at Governor's Comedy Shop in 1983. They just came out to a show to support me. That's how long ago that was.
I'll tell you. When you talk to or you listen to this, what Jackie, right now with Jackie's talks. I mean, how cool is this book? Get the book. Get on board with the website. Gives you information there. Jokeland.com. I got to tell you, and I wanted to bring this up on the last interview too, as the guys have it all pulled up here for me in the studio. Man, you look like a beach bum on the one black and white picture on your website. Like, there you are. You're behind a typewriter.
That is in the attic of my mother's house, which was the first Jokeland. In 1978,
wow.
My band broke up. We had nothing going on, and I just said to my mother, "Listen, I'm moving into the attic," and I threw everything that had been up there for 100 years out the window and put paneling up and a typewriter, and wound up putting, tape recorders up there, and that's where I edited my albums. That's where 516-922-WINE, my dirty dial joke, use your finger, 922-WINE, is still going, but that's where I started it. There was one line, then two, then four, then six. It wound up being 10 lines. 10 rollover lines, getting 5,000 or 10,000 calls a day from all over the world. It's not even a believable story, so I don't really go into it that much. But it was popular, and when I was running Governors on Long Island, every week in Newsday, it had a cartoon of me holding up a beer bottle, and then we eventually made the beer bottle into a phone, and it had 516-922-WINE in every ad, every weekend, Friday and Saturday. So the calls were crazy. And then Rick Dees in California, who was the #1 disc jockey on morning radio,
right,
got a hold of the number, and I actually started doing jokes just for him. And he used to tell people on his show, not only in L.A., but he had a syndicated radio show, a weekly top 40 countdown. Remember, people count down the 40 top songs of the week?
Yep.
And he used to give out the number, and he told his listeners that 516-922-9463 was Tom Selleck's home phone number. and it went nuts. It went berserk. Did I tell you the story about the poor guy from California with the 800 number?
No.
So in the very beginning of the comedy cable thing, there were two comedy channels. There was Ha, and I think Comedy Channel.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what but they eventually merged.
Mm-hmm.
But when they started, there was a show on Ha called Short Attention Span Theater.
Right.
And Joe Bolster, we might get cut off. I might have to call you back on my cell phone.
Okay.
But Joe Bolster was the host. And in the old days of cable, whether it was a Food Network show or any comedy, they had so little programming that anything that they made, they played over and over and over to fill up the channel. So I did the Short Attention Span Theater, which was like a 10-minute interview, and underneath me they chironed my dial joke, only instead of 516-922-WINE, they chironed 1-800-922-WINE. Now, nobody's old enough to remember, but in the early days of the 800 numbers, it was a sales tool, and if you had an 800 number, every time somebody called that number, you paid. It cost you money every time somebody called on your number to try and buy something from you. So they chiron 1-800-922-WINE, and I walked in, and Nancy said, "Man, when you got a phone call, I called this guy back. This guy was out of his mind. It was a guy from California who, I swear to God, who owned an umbrella, rain gear, rubbers, all-terrain gear, 1-800 number was 1-800-922-WIND, W-I-N-D, which is the same number. And his phone exploded, and he went nuts. And I said, look, man, it ain't my fault. So I called the cable company. And, of course, they got nobody working there. They got no budget. So to get somebody to replace the Chiron on Jackie's interview was almost an impossibility. Meanwhile, they're playing it every 5 seconds, and every time they play it, the guy's number is exploding.
That is
just, and he would call up and yell at me. I'd be like, there's nothing I can do. You know, somewhere, I hope that guy is still alive, and I hope he's telling the story. Because it was just colossal. I mean, that's just a beauty, you know.
That is a beauty. That is a freaking hilarious. Now, the dial-a-joke, is that still good to go? We still doing that?
516-922-9463. If you dial it right now, you'll hear me promote the show tomorrow night and the show next week in White Plains, and filthy jokes. You know, it's like 2 minutes of filthy jokes and then advertisement, then filthy jokes, and people can't believe it's still going. This is my 41st year.
That's
41 years it's been going.
That
I'm
is
looking
crazy.
over there now. There's somebody calling right now. You know, it's like
that's awesome.
It's just ridiculous. Let's face it, I'm old and stupid. You know,
but for us, stupid works, man. For us, stupid works.
It has to. You know, it's also great.
What?
People can't believe this. You know what Alexa is, right?
Alexa, yeah.
If you say, Alexa, play Jackie Martling, she'll just play dirty jokes until you just tell her to shut the fuck up. Alexa, play Jackie Martling. Let's see if she's listening.
Oh, I hear it. I did hear it. I think we lost Jackie. Now, Jackie will call back.
If you say Alexa, play Jackie Martling, she plays filthy jokes until you tell her to shut up. It's amazing. And it's jokes at random from... Listen, she's going.
I can hear it.
Jesus Christ.
Did you ever thought it would last this long? Were you a troubled child and kid, like when you were in school? Were you one of those troubled kids, like, you know, were you always getting in trouble in school?
A little bit. You know, I was a ball breaker, but I was fun, you know.
Yeah. I mean...
I didn't get in bad trouble. I was a loudmouth, but, you know, I was usually more funny than I was annoying, you know? and you know what? That's my story, and I'm sick of it.
Yeah, exactly. Jackie, the Joke Man Martling, on board here with us, and you got it.
Did you ever see the cover of my first comedy album?
I don't know about the cover. I have a bunch. I don't know if I can't remember it if I did.
My first comedy album was an LP, not an actual wax LP.
Right.
And the name of it was What Did You Expect? And the cover is my 8th grade class picture, and I'm sitting in the front giving the finger. If you Google Jackie Martling, What Did You Expect? The picture comes up, and I'm sitting there. Now, I'm not boldly giving the finger. I'm subtly giving a curled finger, which is so obvious once you know it, but it's not blatant enough for them to say we can't use the picture.
There it is.
You know, and people say, "What did your parents say?" I said, "Listen, you know, I came from a really wacky household. I sold 100,000 of those records. I don't think my parents even know I put out a record, let alone I gave a finger. You know, so who the hell knows? You know, they still don't know." You know.
What? When did they even become aware of your career? You know, and then that you told dirty jokes.
I was a musician all through high school, and they were so supportive. You know, I mean, they were just great. My mother knew I was my mother was so funny. She was one of those women that had to give up her career to have 4 kids because that's what you did in the 50s. But she was beyond brilliant. And I used to tell Howard and the guys stuff that my mother did, and they would lose it, you know.
Yeah.
Way before she was
now I lost Jackie on a
when I was a little kid, like 3 months or 4 months, you know, 3 or 4 years old, you know, you're a little kid, you lose stuff, you know? And my mother caught me with this 5 times, maybe 10 times. I'd say, "Ma, where are my sneakers?" And my mother would say, "You know Helen Hunt?" And I'd say, "No." And she'd go to Helen Hunt for them. But I mean, I wasn't 12. I He went work. And also if I was walking around and my zipper was open, my mother would point at my crotch and go, "Hey, look, it's Ever Ready Eddie."
Ever Ready Eddie.
You can't make that up.
That's a shit, man. Yeah, that's all right. Listen, the Jackie the Joke Man Martling on board here with us. And, the only cover I remember, and it is on the store, but the only cover I remember, and we have it at home from back in the heyday, your first book is when the disgustingly dirty joke book where you had the soap in your mouth and you had long hair.
Yeah, and that's a real picture. I was really there, and I really had that friggin' soap in my mouth. My manager, Rory Rosegarten, was there with me, and it was just a hoot. They gave me a staggering advance for the book.
No kidding.
And they made a fortune. They sold 50,000 hardcover and 50,000 softcover at like $20 and $10, and But I never made extra money past. The way they do it is they give you a big advance, and then they give you like 0.001% of the rest of the money for the rest of your life, So,
Yeah.
But I was so thrilled to have a book deal, I didn't care. And Howard wrote the foreword, which is worth the price of admission,
Right, exactly.
So that's still selling like crazy, that book.
And it does. You can get them. You can get them online. Even you can get them on Amazon. But if you go to jokeland.com onto Jackie the Joke Man Martling's website, and make sure you give him a like on his Facebook page too if you haven't done that already. And the new book that's out, and now in paperback, The Joke Man Bow to Stern. Just don't put Bow to Stern in there because what do you say? You get some seventh grader that did a picture of a boat or some freaking thing, something.
Right. Listen. Also. I tell this to everybody, and they don't believe it, and then I write back, and they can't believe it. But I always tell people I have somebody who answers all my email, but that person is me. And if you have any questions or you want to email, it's jokeland@AOL.com, JOKELAND@AOL.com. I hope this interview gets posted, because if it doesn't, I'm going to fine you, Doc, and cut your balls off.
You can, yeah, you can, and it better be, because we've got it in 3 different locations this time. So we should be good, right, guy? They said 4. You're full of shit. Listen, so we have.
Tell your promo guy Dave to get a hold of me, and let's try and work something up. I'm telling you, this new idea I got is going to be a killer everywhere.
Listen, I'm all.
It'd be a great thing. It'd be a great thing for a radio station to get in cahoots with, where, because I could send people jokes in advance, and it's, interactive is everything. People want to go out and have some fun, and you can only sit and listen to comedy or music for so long before you want to open your mouth and jump in,
The interaction part of it is what we're all about, and we've already, since you were on board here with us for the first time on Monday, already come up with a couple of ideas that we'll get we'll get Dave in touch with you and your guys, and we'll go from there. Listen, real quick now, tomorrow, and I know Jackie's busy getting things ready and show prep, what he's got to do for tomorrow, and then driving into the Newtown Theater.
Go
ahead.
You want to know my total show prep?
What?
I drive there.
Is that it?
That's my show prep. I already did 41 years of show prep.
So listen.
Show up.
Fuck that. I don't think no more fucking show prep. So do you have any kind of? Do you just get on stage and just start winging it?
No. I do the same show. It's the best of 40 years of jokes, and if I want to go off on a tangent, I can, and I often do, but I have a set, it's just like driving home from work. Unless you feel like stopping somewhere or taking a detour, but it's a no-brainer. I mean, could I just stand up there and rattle off jokes? Of course I could.
Yeah.
But it's I still enjoy it. I don't know why, but I still enjoy it.
Let me tell you something. You're good at it, and this guy worked with the creme de la creme, and he has great kudos that he talks about with Stern. What happened, what's done is done, but creme de la creme, in my estimation, and what they did as a team collectively back in the day, which was, like him or hate it, whatever they did was brilliant, and he was part of the brilliant team, Jackie the Joke Man Martling. And when I say years ago, and never got a chance to introduce myself personally to you, But years ago, running into Jackie on stage doing jokes, I can tell you this, rifle them off. I've never seen anybody quite like you telling jokes on stage. It just kind of like, it just happens.
I appreciate that, folks. See if he's lying. Come on out tomorrow night.
For real, man, and you'll see I'm not, man. The Newtown Theater in Newtown, Pennsylvania, not too far from us, and I know, like I said, for a fact, people that are going from here down to there. The book available. Anything else to bring whatever full circle? What do we? If we leave? Listen, I think we should leave with a joke. I think we should. You should give me a joke on a Friday for these people and wake them up for.
Well, I'll tell you a couple. First, I'll tell you a joke that's not foul, but since we touched on this is my mother's favorite joke.
All right.
Okay. So a guy calls his brother and he says, "Listen, I've been called on business to England. I have to go to England for 3 weeks, and I can't bring my cat. I need you to take care of my cat, but you know that my cat is my whole life. He's my pal. He's my best friend. You got to take care of my cat. Take really good care of him." His brother's, "All right, relax. I'll take care of the cat. Relax." So the guy goes away on business to England. After about a week, he calls home, and his brother answers, and he says, "How's my cat?" And his brother says, "Cat's dead." He said, "What? What? Jesus Christ! What? Dead? Did you have to be so blunt? Couldn't you break it to me gently? Couldn't you say, like, the cat got up on the roof, and you called the fire department to come save him, but they were taking too much time, so you climbed up yourself on a ladder, and just as you reached to get him, he fell, and he fell 20 feet, and you rushed him to the vet, and there was nothing you could do, and he passed away. Couldn't you be more gentle?" And his brother says, "Whatever." He says, "Oh, so how's Ma?" "Ma's on the roof." That was my mother's favorite joke. And now I will leave you with the filthiest joke I know.
Okay.
If you guys come out to the show tomorrow night, you will not be disappointed, I promise you. So a kid is sightseeing with his grandfather, and they're in Pennsylvania. And his grandfather says, "Sonny boy, you see that field out there? That's where they fought the Battle of Gettysburg in 1863. And you know, sonny boy, there's a lot of people that say that the Battle of Gettysburg was a turning point of the Civil War." The kid says, "Duh, Grandpa. Tell me something I don't know." His grandfather says, I can fit my whole fist in your grandmother's asshole."
I love it.
Hey, I'll tell you one more. I love old folk jokes. There's two old guys sitting on a park bench. And the first guy cuts a huge, wet, disgusting fart. And the second guy puts his nose down in the guy's crotch and takes a deep breath. And he says, "Pastrami on rye with lots of mustard and coleslaw." The other guy says, "Oh, you know, that's exactly what I had for lunch. What a talent!" The other guy says, "What talent? I was with you." All right, man, I'm done.
Listen.
All right, I'll tell you one more. A girl goes to the gynecologist. She's, "Doc, I'm freaking out. I keep finding postage stamps from Costa Rica in my vagina." He examines her. He says, "Lady, those aren't postage stamps. Those are stickers from bananas."
That is freaking hilarious. Jackie the Joke Man Martling.
516-922. Please email me, jokeland@AOL.com. I'm going to try and find your... how do I find your Instagram? I'm not good at that stuff.
Send you a link that all you got to do is click on it. I'll make it really fucking easy.
Great. All right. Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Listen, we'll catch up, and we'll make something work between your people and my people here. We'll do something and see what more we can do with Jackie on board with the show. Jackie, we'll be in touch, and we're going to send you the link to this interview as well. This time,
I will post it with any luck. All right. Thank you. I'll see you later.
Talk to you soon. See ya.
Lehighton, Palmerton, Gem Thorpe, and nationwide, it's Colossal Radio. Find us online at colossalradio.rocks.